Now, Iran has condemned Israel's airstrikes on the Gaza Strip as a heinous crime against Palestinians. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Marzia Afkham says Tel Aviv carries out such attacks out of fear of the emergence of a third intifada across the Israeli-occupied territories. She's also urged the international community to put an end to, quote, Israeli atrocities. Let's talk to Eugene Michael Jones, editor of Culture War magazine from Indiana. Welcome, sir. Mr. Jones, don't you think Israel has been emboldened by the silence of the international community whenever it commits crimes against the Palestinians? Especially, we're seeing crimes being committed on Christmas Eve.
Yes, it's now Christmas Eve in Indiana. It is already Christmas Day in the Holy Land. And I think at this point we should take a step back and meditate on the history of Israel. Israel is a country that was born out of acts of terrorism. It was born out of acts of genocide. It was born out of acts of ethnic cleansing. Two of those terrorists, two of the most notorious terrorists, became prime ministers of Israel. Menachem Begin and Yitzhak Shamir went from being terrorists to being prime ministers. And what you see here is, I think, that they have institutionalized the policy of state terrorism, and they can't get away from it. And what has to happen is the world has to realize, wake up to this fact, realize it's not going to change, and then condemn Israel and try and take steps to rectify the situation.
Well, let's put this into another context. What do you think the reasons are behind the lack of religious coexistence of people around the world, especially in this part of the world?
The Catholic Church is to a large extent at fault because after the Vatican Council, they decided that they were going to pursue a new path in dealing with the Jews, treating the Jews as their elder brothers and refraining from criticism. You can't do this with these people. You have to constantly be aware of what they're doing and hold them responsible for what they're doing. So I think the Church, the Catholic Church, because of Vatican II, is in large measure responsible for the situation that exists in the world today.
And what kind of a new year, should I say, would you predict for the situation going on in this part of the world?
Well, as soon as Congress gets back to Washington, there's going to be a full court press to overturn the agreement with Iran that Obama signed in the fall. The Israel lobby will be working overtime through its lackeys like Senator Graham from South Carolina and Senator McCain from Arizona to overturn this. What has to happen is the American people have to wake up to the fact that Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham, does not represent the people of South Carolina. He represents the Israel lobby, and they need to vote him out of office. He's coming up for election this year, by the way.
All right, we'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Eugene Michael Jones from Indiana. Thanks for your time there, sir, as always.